These 10 practices, how important are they? This trip, how important is it? Who's it important for?
That's a lot of questions, Justin. Well, obviously, I think the practices are great for our incoming guys. We've got 3 of the 4 of them here. It gives us an opportunity, I think, to work on some playing with a 30-second shot clock, you know. We're going to probably have to adapt like everybody else and figure out some quick hitters and some ball screen action and a little more than what we have been doing anyway, to deal with the rule changes. And you know, just continue to work on everything that we've done before. I think we can be a better motion team. I think we'll pass the ball a little better, having those guys being here for a couple of years, and we tried to make a conscious effort to bring guys in it that could pass the ball.
Does that begin now? They're getting used to the shot clock and the arch and all that stuff.
Yeah, we did it the other day, put 30 seconds up instead of 35. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot to do about kind of nothing. It'd be a great deal. I mean, you get to watch more bad shots.
Health-wise, Nate, Brandon will obviously. Any chance he'll play in the trip?
No, he won't play.
And I assume Brandon, obviously.
Brandon won't. You know, Brandon obviously won't play, and I think Nate's got 4 or 5 more weeks before he'll be full go. So they're both going to go, but they obviously won't play. But it's good. I mean, it gives some other guys some of our younger guys opportunities to play. Did I answer all your questions?
Yep.
Okay. Was that a lot of questions?
When will you determine if Brandon can play in the season? Or is it just further down the line, or have you determined that already?
I don't have any idea. That's up to the medical people. I mean, rule of thumb is he probably would not. If he had got it operated on when it first happened, but I mean, I don't think anybody was really sure what it was, and he said he could keep playing, and so he played as long as he could play. I would guess that he probably would redshirt, but I don't know that.
You want to see from the point guard position this year? I know you were kind of looking at Dax and looking at a couple other guys, weren't you?
No, I was never looking at Dax. So, no, we'd have a mutiny. Nobody ever out in the bells would ever get the ball. Tariq, I think, is probably our most improved guy from the end of the season until now. And you know, we've played JC there. JC obviously can play there. You know, sometimes you don't want him to play there because you know he's our best perimeter shooter. So we need to get him off the ball some so we can run some things for him to get shots. But Tariq's played well. Tariq's played really well, and you know, I think every day that Beetle and Lamont are out there, they understand a little more. They get a little better. I think their understanding of you know, Justin, honestly, the great thing is we're kind of back to where we were in terms of guys being competitive, and open gyms are competitive. The 2 hours that we've got a week have been very competitive, and that's good for those guys. You know, I think at first they're kind of stepped back and like, wow, you know, but I think the more they're involved, it's a culture, and I think we're kind of back to where we were.
What does Ahmad bring to the table for you guys?
Well, I mean, on the high school level, he pretty much did everything. He can handle the ball. He passes the ball. He's got an understanding of where the ball's supposed to go. I think he's got really good vision, and he rebounded the ball in high school. I would venture to say he'll continue to rebound the ball at the college level. It's just it's a transition. It's a faster game. It's a more physical game. It's that old bigger, stronger, faster, and it'll take him a while to adjust. People close on the ball so much faster. People get to the ball so much faster, and it'll take a little while. But he's got a great understanding how to play. He'll figure it out.
Did you have to do anything to rehab this team from the end of the season, from the Kentucky game, and mentally, or?
No, they've been pretty good, Bob. I didn't put them in summer school the first session because the season for them seems to get long sometimes, So want to give them a break, get them out of here for a time, and honest to God's truth is, after they're home for a little while, they appreciate being here. So I think in the back of my mind, I thought wouldn't hurt for them to appreciate what they have here. I mean, they're staying in brand new townhouses. I mean, I didn't stay in a place that nice until I was like 3 years into the University of Akron, or maybe when I went to Cincinnati. It was the first time I stayed in a place that nice. I grew up in a double wide, with 7 kids. So I think sometimes a little dose of reality and appreciation for what you have is in order.
How about Dax? I mean, after he was obviously pretty well discouraged, shall we say, after the Kentucky game. How did you handle that, or did you have to handle that, or?
No, I mean, I told him I don't know what I think the way the question was posed. What's he supposed to say? We're scared to death. They. And this. I mean, they have a tendency sometimes when they need a story to ask the question in a way that creates a story. And when you got a 19-year-old kid who hasn't been through all that, they have a tendency to tell the truth. And sometimes you're better off skirting the issue.
No comment.
Yeah.
Did never mind.
Happens to me too, Bob. I said it happens to me. I'm telling you, it's hard.
You mentioned the 30-second clock. Any experiments that you work on during this 10-day practice period? Or is it all just teaching, getting ready, and doing what you've already done?
One day, just one day, we did some stuff just to see if it work. You can't figure out whether it's going to work in one day, anyways. But I just wanted to see it, see how much merit it had, if any.
Have you determined if the new guys can defend full court like you want them to, or is that still something you're exploring?
Well, Tavon's not going to be here till school starts, but they played that style of play. So I would assume that, Tavon can get to the ball, and none of them are going to guard the ball well enough initially. I mean, that's a lot of work, and so we're going to have to, and we'll continue to try to do that in these 10 days to kind of get them kind of on board. But in all honesty, you put them in a drill, and those older guys are smart enough. They bust their butt, man, because they know if they get in and they do what they're supposed to, they get out. Which is a whole lot different than doing it for the 30 minutes that they're on the floor. So we'll continue to work at it. And the 2 freshmen, their heads are spinning. And Nisa just got here yesterday, so we'll see. But he's got size, he's got length, which helps considerably.
Is Issa a 3, 4, both? What do you think he ultimately plays for you?
Damn, somebody wants me. He'll play both. He'll play both. We played really pretty small a year ago, and I think he gives us the luxury of playing bigger. When you whatever, I don't know what he is, 6'8" maybe. So you go, a couple 6'8s, and Nate's 6'8" or 9. So I mean, we could go 6'8" across the front line. That helps. And I think the size thing is the feedback I got from the 2010 team was we can't simulate your length. A year ago they said we can't simulate your pressure. Now if we can kind of combine those two things, I think that makes us all that much better.
It seems like, and this is my opinion, I guess, but with these changes to the game and the higher ups are saying that they're making these changes to improve the quality of the game. To me, it seems like...
Well, the data shows that. I mean, it increased at 1 point.
To me, it seems like they're trying to increase offense by getting rid of defense. Is that fair? Does that make sense?
Well, they also say they're not trying to move more towards the NBA game. They're trying to move a little more towards the European game, the world game, and that's not... I mean, the rules that no 5-second count. Okay, now it's like when Jerry and Oscar had the ball, and they made all the decisions with it, and they weren't going to take it from them. I don't know that we can do that with Issa as a freshman, but certainly as a sophomore. I mean, you could put him out there and run a whole bunch of stuff. They're not going to take it from him, and there's no 5-second count, and he can see over people, and I don't know why you try to break things that or fix things that aren't broken.
Can you coach defense now? The way...
It's harder.
Right.
It's harder. We've gotten away from advantage, disadvantage, which was the way the game's been called since I've been in coaching, pretty much. So it's that part of it's different. I used to say before, when Joey Meyer was my buddy and Joey was on the rules committee, and I used to say, I used to tell Joey all the time in league meetings and things, you guys just change the rules so you can go to Palm Springs for a week. And if you don't change any rules, they probably say we don't need to meet and you wouldn't get to go to Palm Springs. I don't know if they still go to Palm Springs, but I think, Justin, here's what I think would have been a great idea, is to get all the guys who coached in college and coached in the NBA and ask them which is a better game. I obviously have, and I know the answer, so, But I got, as you know, when I said what I said in the Big 12 thing, which, you got people who don't agree. But then I look at their bylines and I'm like, I've been doing this for 30-some years. I crawled in the gym. My dad was coaching, so I've been around this game a long time, and I have spent time with guys who have been in this game a long time, and I just don't see why you want to make those kind of changes when we're going to increase it by 1 point a game. That's what the data says, 1 point a game.
The NBA is a show and college is a game.
Well, Bob, the whole thing comes down to, let's be honest, the whole thing comes down to money. The whole thing comes down to and our ratings have dropped. And the NBA ratings have gone up, but the NBA never competes against the NBA.
College ratings, let LeBron play a year or two and then...
Well, either that or just don't have so much inventory. I mean, I can sit in my house and keep switch channels, and I can see 4, 5, sometimes 6 different games that are all on at the same time. The NBA never schedules an NBA game against an NBA game. They have the early game and a later game.
more people see college games. They may not pay to go see them. More people see college games, and therefore you get more money from television. So actually, you're getting more money out of it the way it is.
Well, I mean, that's why all the different realignment was because of television and money. I mean, they can say whatever they want. We all know that's what it was. You make rule changes because of television. I'm not sure that's the way to go, but I seem to be in the minority.
Talking earlier about there seems to have been for you a natural progression of guys stepping up, becoming a leader. Once one moves on, another guy kind of fills that role. It's obviously early, but are you seeing that from Devin? Are you seeing things from Devin that you would want to see at this point?
I thought Devin started to do that at the end of last year. I mean, I don't think there wasn't any question at the end of the Buffalo game, at the end of yeah. Well, it's my one day back in town. But at the end of the game, everybody was, big fella, you got to rebound, and big fella, we're going to throw you the ball, So I think towards the end of the year, and particularly when, I don't think anybody thought Wanting was going to play again. Where do you go to when you need a basket? And so I think Devin started to assume that role a year ago. Tariq's been good, though. I mean, Tariq's really been good, and it's not bad when a guy who has the ball the most is the guy who was trying to lead.
Gained a lot of confidence with that NCAA run.
He's playing really well. Playing really, really well.
You know anything about your competition you'll see in the Bahamas?
Billy does. That's why Billy's the assistant to the head coach. Because the head coach has to go out and work, and Billy sits there on his. So Billy knows.
He's got a scout for
Billy,
injury.
I'm telling you, Billy's got it all going in there.
Are the games as important as the practices, or the practices more important to you?
From what I understand, if they do what they've done in the past, there's one team who's pretty good. It's the best team there, and you're late. They press and they run and they do all those things, so it'd be good. That one will be good. I don't know. I haven't really concerned myself that much with it. Did it come back to you yet, Bob?
Yes.
Did it?
We'll ask you later.
You better get it out before you forget again. Happens to me.
What's that?
Anything else?
Definitely. Coach, can you just talk about building off of what you guys did last season? Had a great year. Just expectations.
The last time we worked out last week, I told him, can we forget about the Sweet 16 and let's go do something special? That's... I think people outside of this building got more excited about that than we did. We had higher goals and higher expectations.
Is that mindset kind of like what helped you guys do that? I mean, just the way you were focused on the season and not the accomplishments last year, that everybody was just locked into what you needed them to do?
It's a different bunch. I don't know that you can be more self-assured than what Dax is. I think JC plays with just a lot of confidence. Devin plays with a lot of confidence. Devin thinks he's as good a big as there is anywhere, and that's a good thing. That part of it's a good thing. And they all like to play. That's the best thing. And I said it all last year. They're fun because you go in and they come in with great enthusiasm. They don't come in, like, man, I got to be in here again today. It's never. It was never that way.